Greetings Seekers, and welcome back to Dungeon Fog. In this video, I wanted to show you how to use the blueprint tool that you can see over on the right hand side of the screen. However, in order to do so, because they've changed how the blueprint tool works from when it was originally designed and implemented to where it is now, I actually have to show you how to use the asset manager first, because it requires the importing of specific files done a very specific way in order to use them under the blueprint tool. So in this video, we are going to be looking at the asset manager, which can be found up on the top right hand corner over here when you're in the editor. After you click on the asset manager, you are going to be brought over into a new window that looks something like this. There's going to be a few tabs up at the top that you can click on, as well as a few tabs on the left hand side that you can click on, and you'll see a whole bunch of different assets and asset packs that you could begin scrolling through to choose your assets and textures. So essentially what the asset manager is trying to do is provide you a quick access template from which you can select any assets, objects, decorations, and textures and put them into a custom designed pack for yourself, so that when you go back into the editor and look for specific props and textures that you want to use, you have a quick way to access them. That's ultimately really what the asset manager is trying to do. But above that, it is also allowing you to import your own custom designs as well. And I know that this was a question that someone had asked one of my previous videos. So this is where you go to actually upload your own assets as well. And I'm going to show you how to do that in just a little bit. Underneath the file tab, you have the ability to actually upload the assets. Now, assets can only be uploaded to your own packs. And again, that's just something I'll be showing you in just a minute. You can then go on to create an asset pack, which is what we will be doing in just a few minutes. Underneath the edit, you can either duplicate or delete. That refers to the packs themselves and or anything that is inside the packs. View just gives you a quick way that you can filter out anything that you're trying to look for. So for example, if you want to use only the free stuff, then you can look through any free assets, premium assets, anything you've purchased through the marketplace, and your uploads. Everything is kind of just highlighted by default. Same thing with the filter by type and your asset groups. You can either look by asset types or by artist. And then the help is if you need any specific help with anything, you can go to the help desk if you have any issues with navigating or there's any errors that might pop up. You can also join the Dungeon Fog Discord, and then you can see the release notes and update notes as well. They also have update shows that they do over on their Twitch channel as well. So if you're ever interested in seeing what the developers and their partners are all up to, you can go and catch their streams over on the Dungeon Fog Twitch channel. And I highly recommend doing that because it's a great way to gain very forefront access to what's coming down the pipe, and specifically their roadmap and what they're working on, and more importantly, what they're changing. If there's elements that are going to be looked at that don't quite work anymore, that they're going to be changing in a new version of the editor, or if they're trying to simplify things or incorporate new features into the editor or any other aspect of their platform. And if you just want to simply reset everything, welcome to the Asset Manager Reset tool. Please select which option or options to reset and then click. So your asset cache, clear the image cache if you're having issues, or local settings, basically your history, search, anything else. You can look at any available packs. You can also search for specific textures and assets if you're looking for them up in the search bar. You can browse by content subscription. Again, anything by Dungeon Fog or their partners is usually found here. You can scroll through and grab anything that you might want to look through. And then the marketplace is where you can go to buy stuff that is most assuredly from other artists outside of the Dungeon Fog asset design team. But some of the stuff might be incorporated in a premium pass. Most likely anything that you see on here, you will most likely have to pay for in some way, shape, or form, especially if you're using a free account, as a lot of the stuff will either be watermarked or just not accessible at all. So you'll want to make sure that you're looking in the appropriate asset packs for the things that you're trying to incorporate that you have access for. But before we go into looking at any specific asset pack and how to bring them over into our own packs, we actually have to create our own pack ourselves. Now, I went ahead and made a test map one just to kind of go through everything to make sure that all of the fine tuning is good to go. And we can kind of do it one of two ways. Up at the top under file, we can go to create an asset pack for ourselves, or we can come down here and hit the plus symbol, in which case we can create a new asset pack for ourselves. So we're going to go, we'll go tutorial video, and we'll click on create. So add assets to the pack. So we can drag and drop your images here, or you can search for existing assets. We're going to search for existing assets first, just to bring us over into our library here, and you're going to see the search window pop up. When you're under here, you can see a list of all of your asset packs that you've created, and then you can delve into each individual one and see exactly what you've uploaded. So this was the JPEG that I uploaded that we're going to be using for the blueprint video. I have that already uploaded, and then just a couple of assets as well, just to test things out to make sure everything's being uploaded properly and that there's no issues or concerns. You can group them as well by artist asset, especially if you have a varied assortment of textures and assets from various artists. You can group them by their type, you can group them by the artist to make things easier to find what you're looking for. Availability here, it'll basically tell you where and what type of assets you have. So I have 3 purchased assets because I have the premium account, and I have 1 uploads, and then you can filter those out if you want. Just click on those to remove anything that you don't need. So you can see I had 1 image, and there we go. And of course, you can rename the pack if you so choose. So we're going to work inside the tutorial video one. So we're going to come here. It is empty right now. So let's start by searching for an existing asset. Search over here. Now we can search, we can drag and drop. So these are the latest ones that we added, but we can search for anything. Let's go rock. And it is going to bring up every single asset across all of the asset packs that are inside this asset manager database, and it's going to provide us with the ability to simply click, double click. There we go. So add 2 assets. 2 variants successfully created. Perfect. If you right click it, you can edit its details, which you can see on the right hand side. You can duplicate the asset, or you can delete it. Over here, you can change things such as its name. Now, you can't change the artist, but it does tell you which artist created that asset. You can also change its type. Now, this is where it's going to be important for where you find your assets and textures over in the editor. So what the asset manager does is it takes the type and it places it in its appropriate section. So for example, this rock formations is uploaded as a texture. That means I won't find it under the assets when I go to look for it. However, I will find it if I use the brush tool or the shape tool. I can find it that way. Even the path tool, I would be able to use this as a texture because that's how the asset manager is telling Dungeon Fog's editor to read this particular item. And I'll show you exactly how I had to use my own image in just a second. We'll see some stuff that we've seen before in other videos as well. We can change the basic colorization of it, or we can do advanced colorize, in which case we are changing the entire color of the asset, and the brush tool video is a great place to go back and get a refresher on how the color tool works, or the color feature specifically. We can transform it, obviously changing the scale and rotation, and this is going to be how it translates over into the editor. So what we're doing here in the asset manager is we're kind of tweaking how it will look when it's initially brought over, and then we can use the editor to fine-tune it even more so. If we wanted to create custom tags to make it easier to search, we can add them here. We can click on this and we can go rock texture. So if we were to search for anything under the custom tag rock texture, we would see this pop up in our asset pack. It tells us what it is and where it is located or uploaded to, which is the tutorial video pack down at the bottom. Once we've done all of our editing, we can save it, and it will save that feature down there, and then we can come down here to add more assets or upload our own. So let's upload an asset. When you upload an asset, it might look a little bit different when you open up yours. It might actually open up the file explorer right away. Because I'm using Opera GX, this is what pops up whenever I go to upload a file. It brings up a few of my most recent, or I can scroll through and show all files. So this is what I see. This might be more what you guys see as soon as you open up the upload a file. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to look at this. I want to upload the Sarpool Encampment from the Curse of Strahd campaign, to which I own a copy of. And I will double click on this, and it's going to port it in. Variant created. So this is telling me that this is a Dungeon Fog asset. This is going to be a custom one uploaded by me. You can see the little person there. We're going to double click on that. Now we can see everything, just as with the rock formation, everything we wanted to change. We can also change its dimensions, so its width and height. We can make it bigger or smaller. We can change it from I don't want it as a prop type. I actually want it to be uploaded as an image. This is going to allow me to utilize this under the blueprint tool. So anything that you want to use as a blueprint, you have to convert it over into an image, or else you're not going to see it. It won't appear on the list of things that you can manipulate, because the blueprint tool, of which I will get into in the next video, can only manipulate images. So as soon as you change it over to this, all you can really do is change the tags, and then you can see what pack it's been added to. Save that. So essentially all we're really doing here with the asset manager is just making it easier for us to organize and collect all the assets we want to use for quicker access in the editor. So if this is where you want to spend the bulk of your time as you're building out your map, or even building out map levels, if you're trying to make something that's a little bit more complex, think of it kind of like Minecraft creative mode, almost. How you can set up presets of different tile blocks in these quick access lists. Well, that's essentially what we're doing here. It's the same basic concept. We're taking a look at all the assets and textures within the Dungeon Fog database that they have access to, that you have access to as well, and you're putting them in a collection to make it easier to find when you're utilizing the editor to build out your maps in more detail. That's going to do it for the Asset Manager video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate all the support you're giving the channel. If you're not subbed to the channel already, you can hit the sub button down below and hit the bell icon to get notified when new videos get uploaded. And if you're not following me over on my Twitch channel, you can head over to twitch.tv/EsquireVT. I'd love to have you guys over and check out some of the live streaming content. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.